Alright. Alright. So the next one, okay, so they don't have quotes, so I don't have to worry about that, is the Medicean Academy of Occult Art. I'm guessing another college.
I mean, I would imagine, considering there's the word academy in it.
I like the logo, icon, that logo icon, or whatever you call it.
I've never heard of them. Overview. One
Same.
of the most ancient and renowned academic institutions of the anomalous world, the, the Medicean Academy of Occult Art, in Italian, Medicia Accademia dell'Arte Occulta, man, they're assholes, is a GOI based in Florence, Italy, founded in the late 15th century by Lorenzo di Medici, Lord of Florence and patron of arts. During the Renaissance, the Academy is able to spread its influence across most nations of Europe in the courts of the Old Continent. The activities promoted by the Academy included teaching art techniques and recollection of old anomalous artifacts from ancient culture. From the mid 18th century, after going through a brief period of decadence, the Academy was able to recover and create new branches in new countries across new continents. The institution oriented its activity towards the recovery and restoration of artistical items, developing a particular taste for the arts. This led to hostile relations with AWCY movement, which is considered the main rival of the Academy. All of this information is sourced from the official archives of the Italian branch of the Foundation. For additional material, contact one of their offices.
Yeah, AWCYs, are we cool yet?
Oh.
It's the artist group.
They're artists, so I do not suspect this will be evil, but maybe they'll surprise us.
Oh, they actually have a general historical summary.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll actually probably see it there. Alright. Hatchet, do you want to read this one since me and Jerry both read one?
I'm not
You
feeling
can do a
very...
pompous voice.
I'm not really feeling up to reading.
Alright, then I got it. Alright. The general historical summary. The Medicean Academy of Occult Art was officially established on July 16th, 1484. Creation of the institution of Novus had been attempted by Cosimo di Giovanni de Medici Vescio the Old during the works of the Council of Florence in 1439.
This might answer your question. 39 is a drama show star.
Jeez, what the hell?
What was that?
Oh, Bright muted. The fuck?
Right, we can't hear you if you're muted.
Someone used an echo and they didn't disconnect mine, so it went through mine as well.
Oh.
No.
Anyways, this was possible thanks to Papal Bull by Pope Sixtus the Fourth. That's the fourth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Which gave to the Lord of Florence, Lorenzo de Medici, the permission to found an institute that deals with training the most talented young artists in Italy and making their work enjoyable and useful for all able men who are aware of occult matters. The institute was born as a school for training artists, but in the hands of the Medici family, it also became a formidable vector of diplomatic promotion for the Florentine state. The Academy remained property of the Mancini family, excluding the Republican period between the death of Lorenzo and the rise of Alessandro de Mancini, known as El Moro, the Moor. During this period, the Academy underwent a rapid decline due to lack of interest of Lorenzo's successor, Piero de Mancini, and due to the action of Predicator Girolamo Savonarola's supporters. Once the latter fell, the remaining members of the Academy placed themselves under the protection of the municipality led by the Gonfalonieri di Giustizia, Pier Soderini, who had already given asylum to many members. Jesus Christ, I suck at reading Italian names. I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you're not going with a pompous sound for everything.
Following its fates and fortunes, some perils threatened its existence, such as an attempt of the Grand Duke Cosimo III to sell it to the King of France, Louis. Is that 16th? Or
Let's see,
15th?
where are we? Where are we? Where's your cursor?
Right there.
Right there. That is the 14th.
14th. Okay, thank you.
France, Louis. Sell it to the King of France, Louis the 14th. Isn't that? That's the great grandfather of the last Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did I say great grandfather or grandfather? Grandfather.
Oh.
Is the grandfather of him.
Gotcha. Yeah. This was thought in order to be able to meet the expenses of his daughter's dowry. She named Anna Maria Luisa, being the last representative of the family to hold absolute power over the academy through the so-called family pact. She favored its independence from the princes of Austria-Lorraine, making it impossible to take out the capital and estate of Grand Duchy, galleries, pictures, statues, libraries, jewels, and other precious things from the succession of the most serene Grand Duke, so that they would remain for the ornament of the state, for the benefit of the public, and to attract the curiosity of foreigners. Since the Academy has slightly changed its face, no longer at the service of the Mancini princes, it started an activity that would define it as a museum and a recovery of past art according to the principles of the Enlightenment. This also started a wide diffusion of the Academy, not only to other non-Catholic European countries, but also in the rest of the world, reaching the continents of Asia and America. With the birth of the Italian state under Savoy leadership, the Academy, which until then had shown mild support of the Risorgimento cause, arose itself as a reference institution in dealing with the occult for the new Italian state, with its capital now located in Florence. The Academy provided support to the activity of the Royal Institute of the Unification of Italy. However, with the conquest of Rome in 1871 and the formation of the Royal Institute of Italian Anomalies, the priorities of the Crown no longer coincided with those of the Academy. Despite this brief moment of crisis, the Academy did not end up being absorbed by the Royal Institute. This was possible thanks to the donations made by the European aristocracy and rich American bourgeoisie. Nonetheless, the Belle Epoque years were certainly among the most prolific and fruitful in the history of the Academy, despite the appearance of new enemies over the horizon. The dual situation imposed on Europe during the Great War and its consequences led by the European branches to a contraction of their strength and capacity of action. Conversely, the branches in the Americas enjoyed a great deal of success, albeit within the limits imposed by the circumstances. During the Second World War, the Academy managed to save itself from the fury of the conflict, even if many structures were looted by German occult units. Nevertheless, thanks to good relations with both the SCP Foundation and the Global Occult Coalition, the Academy was able to recover most of the stolen works. Internal organization. Due to the extinction of the Mancini Grand Ducal line in 1743, the need to reorganize some positions within the Academy became evident. The Academy went from a subordinate institute meshed within the mechanisms of the old Tuscan state to a free and private institution. At the top needed to be placed a figure of prestige, the possibility for the tutor of Florence, the most important among all the tutors to become head of the organization, was stopped by the direct intervention of Anna Maria Luisa. In her will, she decided that the person to inherit the position of supreme head was going to be the representative in charge of looking after the relations between the Institute and the Grand Dukes. Formerly known as Curator Hereditatis, established by the Duke of Florence and then the first Grand Duke of Tuscany, Cosimo I de' Medici. The new invested role within the new powers was consequently renamed Curator Academiae. Other positions that emerged did not change much compared to those of the past. In order, these are Curator, head of the organization in charge of managing the general finances of the institution in relations with the outside world. Despite this last assignment, he never reveals himself during official events, neither within the Academy nor with representatives of other groups. The office is elective, but neither the duration of the mandate nor the modalities with which it is granted are known. It is assumed that it's elected through an internal vote by all the tutors of the Academy. Tutors, representatives of each branch. The tutors manage the internal activities of each venue and also partly coordinate relations with the outside world when allowed. The office is elective and has variable duration, always chosen by cooperation from a group of names that have distinguished themselves within the Academy for merits and contributions offered to the world of art. Supervisors. Supervisors are generally experts in a specific area of competence and hold some decisional power over assistants' work. They maintain a certain transversality and are not to be considered as mere bureaucratic executors of the will of the tutors, but as deserving and honorable members worthy of being heard for their opinion. Assistants. All members of the organization, whether involved into restorations or conservation or relations with the public, are called assistants and are the beating heart of the Academy and its activities. So far, I'm not hearing a bad thing from them.
Yeah.
They're pretentious, but they don't seem bad in any way.
They only
So
have
it does-
two
It does
SCPs.
sound like at one point in history they were stolen from by the Mustache Party.
Looks like they're just trying to restore lost anomalous art, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And craft art. And learn about old art and anomalous art.
So yeah, basically, are we cool yet? But not as bad. So Are we cool yet tries to create anomalous art, but not in the best light.
Why don't we look at one of the anomalous items before? Just one of them, and then we
There's only two.
Oh! We can briefly look over one of them, and then we can, judge it from... Oh! That's a pretty statue.
Oh, there's multiple descriptions. That's great.
You know, why don't we look at the other SCP instead and see if that's shorter?
Oh, yay.
Okay, let's go. Is it shorter?
No.
Oh, so they're both long as fuck. They're both long.
I think this one's better.
it's a super pretentious Enlightenment era college. What do you expect?
Okay, that's fair.
Alright, so here we go. Alright, description. SCP-4505 is the collective destination for 265 safe-class anomalous artworks created between the 14th and 17th century as part of the cultural movement known as the Renaissance. Okay. The original 130 pieces were previously listed as individual SCP objects until their eventual consolidation and subdestination under the parent number of 4505. As part of the SEK Object Class Initiative in 1914, additional works have been acquired and added to the collection in subsequent years. The collection is available as an educational resource for Foundation employees. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
The following is a truncated list of artifacts consolidated under 4505. Staff members involved in the containment of any 4505 item must familiarize themselves with the entire collection before beginning work. Note that items are numbered in order of acquisition, not creation. Alright, so Pieta. Artist Tondino, year 1623. Alright, description. Animate marble sculpture depicting the Madonna weeping over the deceased Christ inspired by Michelangelo's sculpture of the same name. Tondino's piece diverges from the original by posing the Madonna knelt over her prone son. The figures are non-sentient and unresponsive to stimuli. The Madonna shakes her son and Contome's sobs, but produces no sound. The deceased Christ is not independently animate, and makes no movements other than those instigated by the Madonna's physical interactions. Both figures feature realistic anatomy, visually emulating the elasticity and malleability of soft tissue within the context of the piece's internal action. However, physical contact from external sources will interact with the figures as solid marble. Several historical records pertaining to the piece describe an incident wherein a child's fingers were severed after playfully inserting them into Madonna's mouth. These accounts are supported by recent internal imaging of the Madonna's stomach, which has revealed the presence of 11 fingers with no fewer than 3 different parties, as well as a large amount of coinage in various denominations. God damn it.
I'm going to, chop that up to less of it being dangerous and just being stupid.
Yeah, that's just kids.
Oh, this thing you shouldn't even be touching, let me fingers. Let me throw money in it. That'll be good luck. Oh.
Yeah. Alright, The Judgment of the Unrighteous. Artist unknown, year 1434. Description. Bronze door with a sculpted relief panels depicting various scenes in hell as described by Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. Anomalous phenomena occur when it is viewed by a person who has recently committed an act deemed sinful by the 15th century Catholic doctrine. Well, I would say shit.
That's gotta be a lot of very mundane things for us.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw some hentai. Oh, that's a weird looking painting. Subjects who meet the above criteria will experience a cognitive hazard-induced hallucination, wherein they are surrounded by indistinct red-hooded figures. These figures are often observed holding and consuming the severed heads of cephalophoric saints. Effects subside entirely within 20 to 30 minutes. So it doesn't hurt them, it just makes them see shit.
Okay. That's less concerning. at least.
Right. Cardinal de Monte, artist unknown, year 1554. Description: life-size oil portrait on canvas with accompanied section of wall. The painting depicts Inocenzo Shinchi de Monte, adopted nephew and possible lover of Pope Julius III. The painting was removed from Papal Palace multiple times after the death of Julius III in 1555, but always reappeared in the same place the following day. Attempts to destroy the piece were similarly undone. After several weeks' effort, it was decided that the entire section of the wall where the painting hung was to be detached from the building and removed from the premises.
Okay.
The painting just wanted to be on that wall. The Elation of St. Paul. Description: oil on panel. The painting features an anomalous chiaroscuro effect, which causes the lighting of the scene to change over a 24-hour period, with the movement of the sun, moon, and stars progressing in real time. Oh, I would love to see that. The rest of the scene, which is otherwise static, features Paul and the Apostle standing before a crowd of what is presumably the artist's interpretation of a Jewish synagogue. All figures are dressed in Italian formal wear common to the period. Paul is posed as though preaching to the assembly, albeit with a thick stream of honey pouring from his mouth. The heads of doves protrude from where his eyes would normally be found, and his fingers expel a milky substance which pools beneath them. Several bystanders are gathered around a puddle, using their hands to drink. Several sources suggest that the surreal imagery corresponds to Paul's martyrdom is described in the Golden Legend. Title: Lorenzo di Mancini, artist unknown, year 1502. Description: an oil painting depicting the body of Lorenzo di Mancini in an advanced state of decomposition is one of the earliest known attempts at crafting a fully animate and intelligent reproduction of an existing human within a two-dimensional space. Due to split opinions regarding the sanctity of the piece, it remained out of view in a deep storage at the Venetian Academy of Occult Arts until 1944. During the Second World War, numerous artworks were disguised as traditional pieces and entrusted to the MFAA for protection, with subsequently allowed pieces such as 4505-164 to be discovered and acquired by Foundation resources. Lorenzo allegedly commissioned the painting after he was drawn in by the artist's offers of immortality. The artist, whose identity remains unknown, succeeded in creating a painting likeness of Lorenzo that could hold conversations with viewers and move within the confines of its 126 centimeters by 104 centimeters surface, as if it were a three-dimensional space. However, the depiction of Lorenzo proved to be more lifelike than intended, and perished due to starvation several weeks after the painting was completed. Before its death, it reportedly subsisted on a bowl of fruit, the artist had painting in the foreground, as well as an animate bird painted on a windowsill. Oh, that's just sad.
So if they had wanted to keep him alive, they would have had to have constantly painted food on.
Damn.
Oh. I feel like we're not gonna get much more
Yeah, like, none of
information
these
for the
arts
purpose
are
of
bad.
Why don't we just put it? I mean, I
Oh
think they
my.
belong in good, but I don't know where to put them in good since they aren't incompetent.
I need to read this. Jesus Christ.
What?
Title: Trinity of the Red Court. Artist then restricted. Year 1586. Description: oil on canvas. Christ is suspended in a dark void, hanging by the neck from a rope, which extends out of frame. Those who viewed a painting for a prolonged period of time will gradually notice changes in its content. The effect persists after the viewer has looked away for 10 or more seconds. Changes are consistent among different viewers in viewing sessions that occur in the same sequence. Lacerations appear across the deceased Christ's body. A gesture is added in the lower left corner of the painting, pointing at the deceased Christ. Young children appear behind the gesture, and a long line that extends into the darkness. A hooded figure mounted on a horse is added to the bottom right corner of the painting. The heels on the rider's shoes end in blood-stained spikes. Numerous puncture wounds appear on the side of the horse's body. Heavy chains appear around the hooded figure, binding its arms to his torso. The deceased Christ raises his arms towards the jester and rider. Christ's expression changes to a broad grin. What the fuck?
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
What was this artist thinking? I guess they just really hated Christians.
I mean, there's not much. This is Renaissance art, right? The creator was almost certainly Christian.
Alright.
yeah, it was likely trying to make a statement, but we wouldn't know the statement. And I
Yeah.
doubt they tried to make it anomalous.
So, Hatchet, you said that we actually have enough
Well, no,
information?
Well, I was gonna say, no, they intended to make it anomalous. Like, this is from an academy based around making anomalous art.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if I would put this in good specifically. I would be leaning more towards like true neutral or lawful neutral.
Yeah, I think the last painting. Yeah, that
Well, I
sounds
mean,
fair.
that's the thing. Like, even the painting changing isn't a major thing. I'm just trying to think is like, is it an inherently morally good thing to try to preserve anomalous art
Well, it's not just preserving anomalous art; it's also
as well as creating it? Yeah.
it's and learning about art. And I do
Yeah.
think learning and restoring are good things. I do
Hmm.
think art can enrich people's lives. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
some of
I
those are kind of crazy arts, but they're not harming anyone. Besides the
Yeah.
one guy who starved to death because they couldn't paint food on there indefinitely, but
hmm. Then no, yeah. I don't know. I don't quite know what I was thinking. I would hold to the preservation of art to be a good thing. So, how about I think I'd go with neutral good in that
Like,
case.
oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Jerry?
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause they're not like,
Now,
are we cool yet? Where they're just releasing art in the world. They're
I
literally
am
storing
so
it.
glad there's more good that there's more people in the good group.
Yeah, just look at the good
Besides
and
incompetent good. For some reason that one is more popular than any other good group.
yeah, just look at the good and neutral. Then look at the chaotic and evil.
yeah, neutral and then down into
Well,
evil.
chaotic can be anywhere, but yeah, the evil area is definitely bigger.
Also, I can't wait until we find an incompetent neutral, whatever the fuck that's gonna mean.
I have no idea what it would look like.